So this is Justin, right?
Hi. Yep.
And what brought you into quality care chiropractic originally?
Originally, what brought me in was an injury, and it was at the point, at the injury where it was hard for me to stand up straight. It was hard for me to maintain focus. It was pretty much consuming everything I did. The pain was so. I had chiropractic experience in the past. I hadn't had any of that service done for a while, but it was kind of my first go-to when I had the injury because it had worked in the past, and I thought I'd try this office as something new. It was close by to my house, so it worked out convenient for me. And looked at a few reviews, and everything looked good, so I thought I'd give it a chance.
And so how were the treatments? Were there any concerns or comfort
Um,
level with the adjustments or?
Treatments were a little bit different than what I was used to. This was the first office I visited where I had initial uh, had the initial I guess look at where you looked it over, listened to what I had to say, how I injured, what was painful, what wasn't, where was I experiencing all the pain, and how did it happen, etc. But then, if I remember correctly, there wasn't any treatment initially. I know you wanted me to get X-rays so you could pinpoint where the problems were to the best of your ability. At the time, my insurance wasn't covering MRIs, but we were able to go off the X-rays, which worked out for me great financially. So, and then starting in the treatments, it was the adjustments, make sure everything was moving correctly, and then what was important to me was the physical therapy, that went along with the adjustments. So again, something I wasn't used to, and then the fact that you also offered me treatments outside of that, which was dietary, which nobody had ever offered me before. It was new to me. I mean, obviously, the doctor tells you to take vitamins, but you don't often tell your chiropractor tell you that. So, I kind of went on it was like a three-headed treatment plan. The physical plan, which involved the adjustments and the therapy, and then trying to adjust my diet and add some supplements to increase the effectiveness of the treatment and to reduce my downtime. So
Okay. And
decided
then
with that. Yeah.
what would you tell people if they were considering chiropractic or weren't even aware that chiropractic could help them on how to check it out? And if they were considering chiropractic about and then looking at our office specifically, what would you kind of advise people?
I mean, I would definitely advise people to give it a shot. That when you have injuries like I had, which was mostly to my lower back, and had some lingering injuries and issues with my neck and upper back. I think it's an important thing to consider when you have that kind of injury or that kind of pain, because there's really only one other alternative, and it's surgery. And I know a lot of people that had suffered back injuries and other injuries related to the spine, and everybody always advised me, if you don't have to take the surgery, don't get the surgery. If there's another way to do it, because it can almost always be kind of a coin toss. You're going to you or your insurance company is going to spend thousands of dollars on a procedure that may or may not work. For the people that it works for, God bless them. I mean, I know the recovery time is and the treatment time is a lot less than chiropractic, but I thought that the chiropractic was the safer route for me. I didn't want to go, through a lot of downtime, and I think I found a lot of immediate relief. In immediate, I'm saying, 2, 3 visits, and I'm starting to feel a lot better. Versus, you going for a surgery consultation, then you got to do this, that, anesthesia, and all the other stuff that comes with that. Then you got physical therapy on top of it when you're done. So I looked at it as being, I can either take, 15, 20 minutes out of my week, or even a day at some, to some degree when we first started, and have the same results. Like everything else, I mean, it takes time to heal, it takes time to recover, and it takes time to treat things. For me, it was, something that the injury probably was something that was compounding over years and years and years of abuse to my body based on my profession. So I was prepared to give it time to heal. And again, it boiled down to the financial part of it, as well as the convenience and what I felt comfortable with. So I'm not a big fan of doctors and needles. So and if I don't have to go under anesthesia, all the better. So that to me was important when I chose a chiropractor to treat my ailment. And looking back, I wouldn't do it any other way. It's always my first stop when I have any aches and pains related to my back or any of my joints, because as I've learned from you, that it can all be related.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then how often do you get adjusted now?
Right now, I'm down to, at my discretion, every 4 weeks. I know you would like me to be here every 3, but it works good for me at every 4 weeks. When I hit that 3 to 3.5 week mark, I start to know I need an adjustment. And, sometimes I have to go longer than that, but, that 4 week interval is something I probably never thought I would get to. At times during the treatment process, because it takes time, but you got to stick with it. And if you do what you're asked to do, it works. And the things I could do today versus what it was almost 4, maybe 5 years ago, night and day. Night and day.
Great. Thank you.
You got it.